Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Ha, Rekah, Kwadash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders. Double honors to my elder as well, Aharwan, Banyasha Allah, of the Lions Den Camp. And salutations to the fellow Akim, Awafim, and children that believe in truth and in sincerity. It's your brother, I thank y'all back to another lesson. And Yahweh Ratazah is edifying. I just wanted to go into the news. All right, one of many news topics that are out there. All right, as there's a lot of distractions going on right now between the folly and the judgment of these niggerlights and 2/3 of our people pertaining to these rappers. All right, which is all this a distraction. All right, to what's really going on. All right, pertaining to prophecy. All right, World War III. All right, Russia, NATO, and even this in-house here in America when it comes to Buffalo, New York, a mass shooting, all right, which is seeming to be a hate crime, all right, as an Edomite, all right, what seems to be an Edomite, a so-called Caucasian cave dweller, went into a New York grocery store, all right, in a Jake neighborhood, and killed 10 and wounded 3, all right. There's just some articles that I was seeing and reading about. As you can see, the titles: mass shooting in Buffalo, New York. All right. Alleged manifesto that they found leaves no doubt attack was white supremacist terrorism, as this individual had a map out of the actual store called Tops. All right. He had a drawing of the whole floor plan of the store. Whether he got it online or not is not even a question. Is that he has a map of in his possession, which means it was premeditated. All right, which therefore it leads to a hate crime. All right, this devil ultimately showing his horns. All right, and using his blessing, which is the sword. All right, pertaining to Genesis chapter 27 and verse 41. All right, where you can find Esau, him receiving that blessing by way of Isaac. All right, but one of the first scriptures I want to get, you know, because one of the things you got to ask yourself is why nobody making this a big deal. Why is this not national news? All right, and on the front headlines like anything else. All right, like a couple years back you had the Edomite Dylan Roof did it into a South Carolina church, or what he did and he did Jake dirty, man. Grimy. All right, but this is Second Corinthians chapter 4, and I'll start at verse 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. Right? If 2/3 of if our people can't understand this, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we're piping onto them, all right, it's ultimately because they're lost, all right, and they're not of the Lord's sheep, all right. But here's the point, verse 4: in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, right? And that's what ultimately the Lord has sent Esau out to do, all right, be his whipping stick, all right, his sword, all right, where he persecutes our people, all right, and ultimately he's a devil, all right, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, all right, which devil means what to diablos, all right, deceiver, all right, he's a deceiver, all right, he's deceiving those that are not of the Lord's sheep, all right, because they're going to be met with a judgment just as the heathen, all right. They're going to be dismayed unto what's going on, all right, all the way to the end, to where the Lord is going to set a judgment for them, man, just as the heathen, all right. They're going to be given the same portion, all right, being that they're the unbelievers, all right. And this 2 Corinthians 4:4, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, right, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, who is the image of Yahweh, should shine unto them, right? So if you're not kissed by the Son, ultimately, all right, and your name's not written in the book of life, all right, you're ultimately gonna be met with a judgment and be a part of the congregation of the dead, all right, and you'll be met with judgment or the second death, all right, plagues, the lamentations, mournings, and woe of the scriptures are gonna subdue you. All right. But he blinded the minds of them who believe not, being the point, you know, and that's what you see happening. All right. 2/3 of our people don't know what the hell going on or what to turn their hearts to, man, meaning their minds, their la'av, man. First and foremost, they need to turn their la'av to the Lord, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, his law, statute, commandments, all right, in his ways, and find out how they can please the Lord, you know. But ultimately, they're going to get caught up in this confusion, all right, as this place, Babylon, meaning confusion, all right, this is the land of confusion, man. You know, they're going to be blinded by the, hey, what they put out in the news, man, in the media. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 24. And he reads, "For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect." Right, and that's what Satan, all right, the spiritual demon Satan is sitting out here to do, man. This is what Esau is out here to do, all right, to deprive you of your blessing, all right, your birthright, which is the kingdom, all right, those new bodies, all right, salvation, you know, that the Lord is ultimately coming with, right? The law in our inward parts, being perfect, you know, living forever, you know. So if it were possible, all right, that deception that's out, all right, throughout the four corners of the earth right now, you know, it's going to get stronger, all right. The wine is raging, you know. So if it were possible, they would very well deceive the elect, all right. That's why the Lord said he's going to shorten days, man, you know, roughly paraphrasing, you know, because hey, if it wasn't for the elect's sake, there's no flesh would be saved, man, due to this diabolical demon, because that's how the Lord set them up to be, all right. So you don't want to be deceived, all right, because it's going to be real easy to be deceived, all right, as the times that we're coming into is going to get worse and worse, all right, as it's going to get worse before it get better. And this is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2, and verse 11. "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices," right? You know, one of his main devices is the media, the news, and what he can put out in the media and put, you know, give you half truths, right? Hide things, right? Conceal and deprive the people from real truths, all right? Or just throw completely confusion and distractions out there, you know, while they're giving you truth in plain sight, all right? Because hey, they want to hide it in plain sight, because that's how Esau operates, all right? He do things hidden in plain sight, so it is out there, but the people ain't even paying attention to what they need to pay attention to, all right? The things that could be happening into the neighborhoods and cities, all right, near you, all right, here in Babylon, all right? Hate crimes. Ultimately, Esau showing his horns and coming after our people carnally, all right? But you know, hey, this is ultimately a spiritual war, you know, and we can't win this battle physically, all right? You know, ultimately 2/3 of our people go get their fair share of the race wars, right? You know, carnally, all right. But hey, that's ultimately the Lord gonna have to wake them, hey, wake Jake the hell up, man, because Jake is sound asleep and they don't even know what the hell coming to him, all right. As right now we're in a spiritual war, spiritual battle, all right. And if you're not spiritually equipped and spiritually prepared, hey, you're assed out, man. And this is Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil," right? And that's the whole armor, man. You're going to have to dot your I's and cross your T's with this damn devil, all right? You know, you can't have on the breastplate, you know, you can't have your shield, your breastplate with no helmet and have your head exposed. You know, you have to have on the whole armor, you know, 100% truth, all right? "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places," right? You know, and that's starting with what these banking elites, all right? The scriptures speak on how this devil is wiser than Daniel, right? How he laid open the book to paint the likeness of his images, all right? All the way starting back from the Greco-Roman, the Greeks, all right, the Grecians, all right, where they were trying to Hellenize our people, All right. It's verse 14. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, right? And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, right? Peace. Wanting to have a sound mind, your eye being single in that day, not being deterred and distracted, right? Above all, taking the shield of faith, right? Ultimately, it's going to come down to faith, you know. And to worship him, you must know he is. I believe that's Hebrews 11:6, right? So you got to know that he is, man. He can do anything. He can do anything, man. He can deliver you. The Most High know how to deliver the godly out of temptations, man. Know how to preserve the wicked for the day of judgment. Roughly paraphrasing. There's nothing. You can't underestimate the Lord, man. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right. So hey, it's even more so to have faith in him, man. That he can do things. He can work wonders in your favors and for your and on your behalf, man. If you just dwelling in him and believing on him. All right. Wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, right? That's the only way you're gonna be able to quench the fiery darts of the wicked, man, with that sound mind, with the 100% truth, right? Isaiah 33:6 states, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. You know, a carnality is death. So hey, we know not to go out there and join the race wars and get carnal with Esau, because Esau gonna have the upper hand. All right, but 2/3 of our people, they're gonna get caught off guard to where they're being rocked to sleep now. All right. But the Lord is gonna have to rouse them up, all right, and ultimately get carnal and go out there and fight against another people, man. You know? And that just being said, I'm just go straight to it, to the book of Second Ezra, chapter 15. All right. And I'll start at verse 14. And it reads, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, right? And that's your civil wars, your race wars, all these divisions that America have, as this is a melting pot full of different philosophies and ways of life, right? It's nothing but separation here in America. Not just a color, right? But a separation with just ideologies in itself. All right, because the only ideology that is sure and that should exist and that stands is the ideology of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, how he set things in stone, and that should be it, you know. But you have a lot of division here, man. It's gonna cause one people to fight against another, man. That's your civil wars, man. Your race wars, in the streets of America. All right. Verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, So it's to be sedition among men. All right, and that's ultimately what they're trying to cause here in America and Babylon. All right, and it's long overdue, as it's been you had your yellow vest protests in Paris. You had uproars all throughout the four corners of the earth in different countries, amongst different nations. All right, it's ultimately going to trickle down and come to America, man, where the heart of the problem is. All right, where the Lord is really going to deal, where we are in the neck of our enemy, man. In the land of the north, right? And the course of their action shall stand in their hands. Ultimately, the people is not going to care who's in authority, the police, the local politicians, your DA, the federal. Everybody, hey, these people going to go out here on the streets of America just like this damn Edomite did, Peyton, getting drawn. All right, and they're going to take matters in their own hands and deal with consequences later, if there are any consequences, because everybody's going to be at home to fend for themselves. All right. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, for because of their pride in cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right. and thus with violence is this place gonna go down, man. Because this devil is not gonna go down without a fight, roughly paraphrasing. All right. So, hey, why is nobody talking about the Buffalo, New York mass shooter, man? Everybody want to talk and about what these nigga lights got going on as far as they federal indictments and these rappers who do nothing for the people. All right, but they're taking your minds off of what's really going on. All right, and what's coming down the pipe when it comes to you, man, Jake. All right, and Esau's and the elites depopulation plan and them trying to ultimately entice sedition in America. All right, civil war and race wars in America. All right, because things ain't going back to normal here. All right, it's ultimately the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the Lord and God of heaven and earth. Right, ultimately to bring back the captivity of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Whether you hear or forbear, whether you believe or not. All right, it's gonna get done. All right, as it's written. And Shalom, Mahabatha, DTA.